Today, farmers depend more and more upon their combines to save their crops, despite poor field conditions such as wet or down corn. No doubt you have experienced weather conditions that have affected the quality of your corn. You know that heavy winds or excessive rain will cause lodging, and that makes harvesting a real challenge for both man and machine. Or perhaps you had a wet spring after the planting was done, keeping you from cultivating or diminishing the effectiveness of your spraying, which caused serious weed conditions. If weather in the fall was too wet, your problems may have been one of poor traction. And early frost or snow that thaws causes greasy conditions that limits traction and seriously slows harvesting. Depending on location and preference, farmers plant literally 100 different types of seed. Within just one section, you may find as many as 6 or 7 varieties of corn growing. Some farmers even have several varieties growing in one field, each of which may have different characteristics, such as maturity date, height, stalk thickness, easy or hard shelling, ear size, and standability. Each of the problems, bad field conditions, excessive weeds, adverse weather, and the many varieties of corn directly affects the efficiency of your corn combine. Therefore, it's extremely important that your corn head and combine are set up to meet these tough harvesting conditions. To help you know your corn combine and to help you get the most out of it, the J.I. Case Company of Racine, Wisconsin presents A Guide to Profitable Corn Harvesting. The corn head is affected by all of the problems mentioned. Therefore, it is critical that the head be adjusted and serviced properly to get all the corn possible. Let's start right at the front. Points on case corn heads are the floating type that help you pick up down corn in frozen, lumpy ground and to pass over rocks or rough terrain without damaging the corn head. The low, sloping points float because they are chain adjustable and spring-loaded. It's easy and important to check the chain adjustment. First, make sure all points are adjusted to the same level to improve gathering ability and eliminate the chance of damage. The front part of the point is heavy gauge steel and is bolted to the cone. If the snout is damaged, only the cone need be replaced. Down and lodged stalks are positively gathered by the low forward-reaching chains on the case corn head. Keep the chains reasonably snug for best performance. As stalk conditions vary from wet to dry, it's important to adjust roll spacing to eliminate plugging. To encourage operators to make this necessary adjustment, on-the-go roll spacing is remote controlled on case heads. Set the rolls so that ears are snapped off the upper third of the rolls. A cable runs from the front of the rolls in each unit to a single crank adjustment located on the operator's platform. By changing gearbox sprockets, roll speed is adjusted to meet crop variation. Each snapping roll has a live point to guide stalks into the stalkway. 4 flutes pull stalks down so ears are snapped off on the bilevel plates. When timed properly, opposite flutes are parallel to one another. Flutes are hardened on case rolls for longer life. However, it's still advisable to check flutes daily for wear or damage. Then, when necessary, simply reverse flutes for like new life and performance. Flutes are bolted on with grade 8 bolts to withstand severe weed conditions. Snapping bar adjustment is done manually by simply raising the corn head and moving a rod from one hole to another. There are 18 selections to help you meet any condition. Set them to prevent ears from getting into the rolls. In some areas, weeds such as morning glories give farmers serious problems. The morning glory vine wraps around the rolls, causing plugging and frustrating delays. Another problem weed is the giant foxtail. This too can cause excessive wrapping on the rolls. To eliminate the bother and delay caused by weeds, Case equips its corn heads with vine knives that move with the roll. Proper clearance is maintained regardless of roll adjustment. Gathering chains and snapping rolls are positively driven by a hexagon shaft. This provides 6 driving sides for long life, and it frees you of the problems of a round shaft with a single key. If your present head uses key-driven sprockets, it's wise to check them daily to head off trouble in the field. The sheet metal between the stalkways has a special catch ledge that prevents ears that are tossed loose or whipped back by stalks from sliding down onto the ground. This ledge diverts loose ears to the gathering chains, which convey them into the head. Where farmers have the problem of losing ears from tall corn stalks that break over the top of the corn head or losing tossed ears, Case makes available a tall corn screen. Ear loss, plugging, and downtime are often the result of mismatched speeds. The big question to farmers is, how do you match corn head speeds to ground speed? When combine ground speed is too fast in relation to corn head speed, stalks are pushed, hitting each other and shaking off ears. Some ears will drop to the ground and be lost. Stalks may break, causing excessive trash. The result will be unnecessary ear loss. The operator should reduce ground speed or increase corn head speed as recommended in the operator's manual. When combine ground speed is too slow in relation to corn head speed, stalks are flung back and jammed between gathering chain lugs and stripper plates, stopping operation. Whipping action may snap ears off the stalks and toss them in the air or over the sides and back. Stalks may also break, causing excessive trash and plugging. The result? Lost field time and unnecessary ear loss. The operator should either increase ground speed or reduce corn head speed as recommended. When the proper speed relation between corn head and combine ground speed is obtained, stalks stand upright and freely enter gathering and snapping units. The result? Minimum ear loss, maximum efficiency. As ground conditions and yield per acre change, so will demands in your combine. You'll get the matching corn head and ground speeds for your combine by using the recommendations in your operator's manual. For example, Case offers a variety of corn head speeds that match the ground speeds of the model 660, 960 combines. By merely replacing main drive sprockets with any one of the many sprockets available, corn head speed changes are made on the models 1160 and 1660 combines just as they are on the 660 and 960 combines. Remember, matched speeds are vital to get maximum efficiency from your corn head. At the top of each stalkway, a three-wing beater moves ears and husks from the gathering chains into a cross auger. Each beater is shaft-driven directly from a gearbox to force-feed the biggest of ears. For gentle handling in hybrid seed corn, rubber paddles may be added to the beater wings. Immediately behind the beater is a 12-inch diameter cross auger that conveys ears toward the center. The auger has a heavy tube with tough 4.5-inch flighting, which allows plenty of room for ears to flow. A stripper located behind the auger assures fast flow of corn to the center. The auger is driven on the left-hand side and is slip-clutch protected against damage from foreign objects and overload. Optional sprockets permit speed changes as yields change. Once corn is conveyed to the center, auger paddles move it parallel into the feed rake chain. The feed rake chain carries the corn to the cylinder. Excessive wear caused by aggressive action of ears is avoided by use of heavy-duty reinforced slats. To get proper feeding and to eliminate chain wear or breaking, adjust the feed rake chain tension evenly on both sides. Feed rake chain speed is adjustable by changing the drive sprocket. Just as it's important to adjust your corn head to meet varying conditions, it is also necessary to keep the corn head well serviced and maintained. For your convenience, a multi-luber system is installed on all Case corn heads to supply grease to hard-to-reach bearings. Once ears have passed through the corn head, they are moved into the cylinder. A few minutes spent on adjustments can make a considerable improvement in the quantity and quality of the yield and your income. A poor quality sample costs you plenty. Since dockage is costly, it's just as important to make cylinder adjustments as it was to get the ear off the stalk and conveyed to the cylinder. A stationary feed plate should be installed on the concaves when switching from grain to corn to assure proper feeding. Be sure the feed plate is level with the concaves. To avoid cracking, level the concaves to the cylinder. On a case combine, simply measure from cylinder shaft to the front leading edge of the concave on both sides. Distances should be equal. For most efficient corn threshing, preset concaves to 1 1/4 inches clearance in front and from 5/8 to 3/4 of an inch in the rear. Concaves can be adjusted on the go. They are micrometer adjusted with 1/64 inch increments per full turn of the crank. Actually, adjustments are infinite, precise, and should be set exactly as required by conditions to give you the sample you want. To increase threshing action, concave filler bars are available to be installed in the rub bar concave. Normally, only 1 bar needs to be added. Installation of the filler bars is quick and easy since they are magnetic. No nuts and bolts required. To prevent damage to the concave tines from cobs, a concave tine shield is installed. This also assures an even flow of material to the walkers. One problem all corn combines have in the threshing area is to handle the tough load, and to do so without damaging the kernels. Case wide cylinders and concaves separate over 90% of the crop. Corn kernels leave the cylinder faster, so there's less chance for them to be damaged. On case combines, the relation of the concaves to the cylinder makes for a gentle wedge-type rubbing action. Even though shelling is aggressive, cobs leave the cylinder concave area practically whole. They're not crushed, since the concave clearance narrows only as the ear is shelled. In this way, all the kernels are removed from the ear, but not damaged. If you run into the problem of material accumulating in the cylinder, install filler plates between the cylinder rasp bars. This also prevents cobs from carrying away unshelled kernels. Lower speeds are used in dry corn and higher speeds in corn with a high moisture content, generally from 500 to 800 revolutions per minute. Cylinder speed is controlled by interchanging bolt-on sprockets at the beater shaft and cylinder shaft. The cylinder stripper acts as a cylinder cleaner to prevent material from backfeeding. It's located slightly above and to the rear of the cylinder. Clearance between the stripper and cylinder is regulated with spring-loaded adjustment bolts on either side of the combine, just forward of the beater shaft. Quality corn in your bin doesn't just happen. You get it only by making the proper adjustments when they should be made. Case wide cylinders, matched with micrometer-adjusted concaves and on-the-go adjustments, make it easy to get the corn sample you want. Corn is conveyed from the threshing area of the Case 660 and 960 combines by the grain pan to the chaffer sieves for cleaning. To avoid losing corn at the front of the grain pan when changing a grain header to corn head, move the grain pan seal to the upper hole position. On case models 1060, 1160, and 1660 combines, a heavy-duty conveyor rake moves threshed grain positively back to the chaffer sieve, even in hilly going. The heavy-duty roller chain and high-carbon steel wear strips are designed to last longer. To prevent cobs from causing damage as they come off the cylinder and beater at high speeds, special heavy-duty grid covers for the front section of the walkers are installed in both the 1160 and 1660 corn specials, optional in the 960. Dirty corn samples cost you money in dockage. It follows that correct sieve and fan adjustments are important to eliminate dirt and trash, not to mention avoiding grain loss over the sieves. Some farmers are troubled by the cocklebur weed. It too can end up in the grain bin and cause dockage. Once again, proper sieve and fan settings are very important in coping with this or any weed problem. Case's exclusive air accumulator fan provides a uniform stream of air currents, essential for efficient separation of the corn from the trash. The air circulated by the fan raises the trash while allowing the heavier corn to fall through the sieves. Quite often there is only a slight weight difference between the corn and trash. Because of this, the degree of wind velocity is a prime factor in providing suitable cleaning action. Excessive wind velocity will lift the corn along with the trash, while the rocking action of the shoe vibrates the corn out of the rear of the machine. Too little wind velocity will allow a large amount of trash to fall through the sieves and eventually enter the grain bin. The fan is variable speed driven. It adjusts accurately and easily to obtain that just right setting. The fan shield prevents dirt, trash, leaves, and so forth from entering the fan housing and winding up in the bin. It screens both sides of the fan housing and protects the bottom of the fan housing as well. The closed corn chaffer sieve is a heavy-duty, deep-throated attachment specially designed to clean larger grains. Its openings allow clean grain to fall through while unthreshed materials are moved to the rear. Also, this adjustable sieve is designed with the larger openings needed for corn cob mix. If you operate in hilly terrain, install the medium slope attachment that keeps grain from riding to the low side. You'll get better cleaning by spreading the grain over a larger area. Where crop conditions warrant it, you may find it advantageous to install a perforated auger trough assembly that allows dirt to fall through to the ground before it reaches the elevators. Since the cleaning section of the combine is the final step in removing the chaff and trash from the grain, it's essential that proper adjustments be made. Take the time to make these simple adjustments. It will pay off in less dockage and higher yields. How do you check your adjustments in terms of loss? When combining beans, for example, first determine how much seed was lost on the ground due to shatter shelling, Mother Nature's loss, by measuring 3 sample 1-foot square areas ahead of the cutter bar and count the beans in each square foot. Add the beans and divide by 3. For example, 19 plus 14 plus 15 equals 48. Divided by 3 equals an average of 16 beans per square foot on the ground before the crop went through the machine. To determine how much grain was lost by the machine itself, disconnect the straw spreader or chopper and measure 3 sample 1-foot square areas 20 or 30 feet behind the combine. Count the number of beans in each square. Add and divide by 3. For example, 41 plus 45 plus 43 equals 129 beans. Divided by 3 equals an average of 43 beans per square foot lost by the combine. Subtract 16 from 43 to determine that the machine loss was 27 beans. Since 8 beans per square foot equals 1 bushel per acre loss, the loss in this example would be 3 1/3 bushels per acre. As the season progresses, field losses will increase. The corn dries out, causing more shelling, and stalks become brittle, causing more eardrop. Field losses can be reduced to a minimum by keeping your machine in proper adjustment, following rows carefully, and picking at proper speed according to the yield and field conditions. In estimating shelled corn loss, count the number of kernels around a hill in a square 40 inches by 40 inches. Make a count at several places in the field, and then average the count. If you find an average of 20 kernels per square, you are losing 1 bushel per acre. 80 kernels per square would mean a loss of 4 bushels per acre. Be sure to clear away all husks and leaves and shake any remaining kernels from husks to get an accurate check. In estimating ear corn loss, mark off 133 feet, about 43 normal walking steps for an adult man, along one row. Each good-sized ear, about 3/4 of a pound, represents 1 bushel of ear corn loss per acre. Make this test several places throughout the field for a more accurate check. Be sure to kick husks and stalks to find ears that are hidden. To get the most accurate check on efficiency of your corn attachment, estimate the ear corn loss before as well as after the field is shelled. Harvesting corn early may reduce field losses, but early harvesting may require added costs for drying the crop. With corn yields of 100 bushels per acre, the chart shows that losses average about 13 bushels per acre at 20% moisture. However, field losses average only 7 bushels per acre at 28% moisture. Expect some field losses, even under ideal harvesting conditions. To facilitate faster field drying, chop or pick end rows and open several lands through the field. This allows more air to pass through the stalks. More exposure means more drying action. Disc the headlands for smoother operation when turning. Top quality samples in your grain bin are the result of proper corn head, cylinder, concave, separating and cleaning adjustments, as well as proper field preparation. Ignore any one of these areas and you simply cannot get the performance built into your corn combine. There is also an attachment available to get corn cob mixed to your specifications and feeding needs. By adjusting cylinder speed and concave clearance, you can blend in just the amount of cob and cracked corn to match your feeding formula. It takes a tough machine to withstand the pounding and abrasive action of corn. Case builds the 1160 and 1660 corn specials. What makes them so special? These combines were designed, tested, and built for the Corn Belt. Case corn special features are built in at the factory, not added in the field. Extra heavy bracing and heavy front grid give rigid support for carrying the corn head and added weight of the larger grain bin. To carry heavy loads through tough conditions in muddy fields or on hilly terrain, the 1160 corn special uses an extra durable double disc clutch. The heavy-duty ductile iron transmission case and modern disc brakes keep you going. They're trouble and maintenance free. For extra tough service, Case uses special heavy-duty axles, axle housing, wheels, and heavy-duty 10-ply tires as standard equipment on the corn specials. Wheel weights are standard equipment also. Their function is to provide a counterbalance for the weight of the corn head. The rear axle is designed to withstand this greater load. The traction drive shield mounts over the variable speed drive, protecting both sheaves and belt from mud and trash. To protect the fan from dirt, trash, and mud, a fan shield is placed on the outside of the fan housing. The grain bin extension increases bin capacity to an actual 90 bushels. The giant 1660 bin holds 100 bushels. This means fewer stops for unloading and simplifies wagon spotting. There are numerous other built-in features which truly make the Case 1160 and 1660 corn specials. This chart shows the number of acres and bushels you can harvest per hour with different size corn heads. For example, the 1160 combine with a 4-row 40-inch corn head traveling at 3 miles per hour will harvest 3.4 acres or 340 bushels per hour, assuming continuous operation in 100 bushels per acre corn. This chart helps you determine what size corn head you need to get in your total bushel volume for the season based on 15 good harvesting days. After you've determined the row spacing and the corn acreage you'll be harvesting, you can decide which of these Case combines best suits your operation. The Model 660 and 960 40-inch cylinder combines can be equipped with either a 2- or 3-row corn head. The Case 1160 corn special with a 42-inch cylinder, widest in its class, can be equipped with a big 4 narrow-row or 4 wide-row corn head. The giant 1660 corn special with a 52-inch cylinder, the largest in the industry, can be equipped with a narrow or wide 4-row corn head. Case engineers have accurately measured a maximum capacity of 19 bushels per minute, and owner reports bear this out in good standing heavy yields. One of these 11 combinations is just right to handle your high-yield harvesting requirements. For more information on combine operation and adjustments, why not see your Case dealer soon? While you're there, ask him to show you how the Case Crop Weigh Purchase Plan can help you realize the sizable benefits of owning a Case corn combine.